everyone, this is Shell of the Wanderbots, and welcome to Slay the Princess. This is a game by Black Tabby Games, and they are also the creators of Scarlet Hollow, which is another game in the horror genre. Love all the hand-drawn artwork that they have in this, and it's interesting they're going for a monochromatic look with this. And I'm looking at my cursor and it looks like I have claws. This will be an interesting one, but yeah, you're tasked with slaying the princess. So this will have some frightening sequences and blood and gore, so just be warned. In any case, let's just start the game, see where it takes us. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ooh, why? So we have the end of the world? What are you talking about? Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up in the basement? Killing a princess seems to be kind of bad though, doesn't it? Can't someone else do this? Forget this, I'm not doing this, or have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet. Always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la revolution. Silently continue. I'm gonna ask why. Yeah, how is she gonna end the world?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Ooh. Oh, I also like how there are layers to the background here. Let's see. Do you have any evidence to back it up? If you don't tell me why she's dangerous, I'm not going to kill her. But how can a princess locked away in the basement end the world?
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Can't someone else do this?
Oh, if only that were the case, but I don't make the rules. I have to say I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off.
Where's the narrator in the context of everything? Are they just a voice inside the protagonist's head?
Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
So, they're not going to divulge any further information about why she's a danger. Killing a princess seems kind of bad though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
I mean, quite frankly, slaying anyone, definitely not moral, not right, not a good thing. And definitely, yeah, trying to, but the thing is, it's about what she can do. What is she capable of? How is she going to lead to the end of the world? Technically, any individual in this situation could potentially, though a monarch would definitely have more power at their disposal. So perhaps that's how she'd end the world? But at the same time, someone with an invention could lead to the end of the world. Someone who creates something. Yeah, I don't know. Are you a monarchist? I don't really need to talk about the world ending in that way. Definitely, I don't understand how anyone could be. It would be very nihilist, just the end of everything. But to decide that for everyone else, nope. There's the forget it, I'm not doing this. I'm definitely not sold. Not gonna thank him for telling you what to do. Definitely this. Look, I'll go to the cabin and I'll talk to her. And if she's as bad as you say she is, then maybe I'll slay her. But I'm not committing to anything until I've had the chance to meet her face to face.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, so that's the hero's voice. Well then, I suppose we have no choice but to proceed to the cabin. Looks like a starlit night.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Pristine? So it isn't also coated in dust? Has this been prepared? And also there's no sign of footprints or any activity here?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
But if you enter the basement with the blade and she sees it, then she's going to know that you're coming to kill her. If you go down without it and she is in fact dangerous, then we would be going completely unprepared. I've played quite a number of horror games where by picking the implement up or the weapon, you put yourself in potentially more danger, or you prevent yourself from being able to use it later. I will enter the basement. I don't want to seem threatening.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
So we have, hi? I'm just checking in on you. I'm here to save you. Lie, I'm here to save you. Hey, I think I'm here to slay you, or continue down the stairs. Well, I don't just want to say hi. Don't want to just off the bat admit to the fact that I have been sent with the express purpose of slaying her. Don't want to continue down soundlessly. I probably want to garner her trust. So, but I don't know what the distinction between this is. Like, one is lie, and one is I'm here to save you. This wouldn't be genuine. I hope this sounds convincing, but I think I'm going to say I'm here to save you.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
I see. You're trying to get her to lower her guard. It's a gamble, but it might work.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever.
Forever? How long is forever?
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Nope. Definitely not.
You were lying when you said you were here to rescue her, but regardless of your intentions, breaking her out of those chains would be a big mistake. Don't even try it.
I do want to talk with her, and I don't want to get too close to the chains yet. Let's do this.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the princess. And yeah, she does have this mark here. This is probably where they cut her out. Just around the edges of the animation, but... So there's what's your name? That's always a good sequitur.
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
That or she doesn't have a name? Doesn't recall her name? She could be a shapeshifter. I suppose I'll ask the obvious. So is Princess your name?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
That is definitely suspicious.
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
There's the I don't know anything about you. For all I know, you're locked up here for a reason. If I'm the first person you've seen in a while, what have you been eating or drinking? And there's just the I was sent here to slay you. You're apparently a threat to the world. What are you going to do if I let you out? Or I'm just going to keep you locked away down here. And then there's retrieve the blade. Go back upstairs without a word and retrieve the blade. Examine the chains, saying that you're going to free her. I'm going to ask a few more questions. Namely about the food. Yeah, what have you been eating or drinking?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
I mean, you look human, but I can't be certain of it.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant.
It is relevant, though. She's definitely not as she seems.
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
I do want to know the reason why she's locked up down here.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason.
Okay, what's the reason?
I don't actually know what that reason is, but You don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need, and you should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
What are you going to do if I let you out of here?
The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter. It's not like you'd believe me.
No, that's very true. She could potentially conceive of anything, and we would just have to take it at face value. Don't like this. I don't want to retrieve the blade quite yet. I don't know. Maybe I should be truthful with her. This might even potentially eke out information on who sent me here in the first place. Because the narrator is very suspect as well. I was sent here to slay you. You're apparently a threat to the world. So I can say, but I don't think you're actually dangerous. I wanted to see for myself. I'm still not sure what I believe, or what to believe. And I'm starting to think it's true. There's something about you that doesn't feel right. I think I'll take the middle ground of I still don't know what to say or decide upon.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
I think?
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
No? No, they were very secretive about it. They refused to tell me the exact methodology or the reason. I haven't been told enough. I was hoping you'd tell me. No, but I'm sure they have the reasons for keeping that information a secret from me. No, which is why I don't think you're actually dangerous. I don't know who the they is. They have a reason.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
What if they're bad reasons, though? If they had good reasons for thinking I was dangerous, wouldn't they have shared them with you? I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to leave. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that, and I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about.
There's a lot of echo on these voice lines. I suppose it makes sense because we're down in the basement, and I suppose the narrator is in your head.
Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Yeah, potentially.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
So I have the, I won't kill you, but I can't just set you free. It's too risky. What if I stayed for a while and just kept you company? Maybe everyone would be happy? No, we know that there's a time limit of some sort. Gonna keep you locked down here at least for a little bit. We can get to know each other better while I decide what to do. I don't know about that. Sorry, just can't trust you. This doesn't add up. It isn't worth the risk taking your word over the potential fate of the world. Go back up and retrieve the blade without saying a word. Getting you out of here. So there's, okay, I'm getting you out of here, but don't make me regret this. That sounds like a threat, though. Maybe I'll at least examine the chains.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
Unless she lashes out at me,
No.
I don't know.
You're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
So there's the, and if there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas? Or I'm going to check the upstairs, maybe the key's still lying around up there, and if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free. Yeah, what else can we do?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
How?
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
Maybe she means severing her arm? Oof. We do have a knife.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Wait, what?
Is someone else here?
Let's try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Were we set up by the narrator?
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Yeah, well now I don't have the knife, but... Huh.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Oh, I don't know. This is disgusting. It looks like I can skip things. Maybe I want to save. Just save at that moment. Because this seems like a junction.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Oh no. Well, okay. She's definitely not human. Then again, I don't know with this hand of ours if we are either. But she's just chewing through her arm? At the same time, I mean, she is distracted. It would be an opportunity to use, but where did the dagger come from? Did it just drop from the ether or the ceiling? I don't recall there being any holes in the floorboard. Well, then I suppose there would have been a room beyond, but how did it end up here? This seems way too contrived. So save the princess means we would help cut the rest of her bonds. Slay the princess. Oh, I don't know. This is a tough one. Because she seemed perfectly reasonable so far. But... yeesh. And if anything, the narrator and his cohorts, they used us. And we may have even been locked down here because of them. I don't know. I want to rebel. Oh, there's also all these feathers over here. That's interesting. Should we try saving or slaying the princess? Let's try saving her?
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
Ew.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
And we do have the blood at the end of the blade.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door?
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Wait a minute. Did the narrator just take control of us?
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Oh, so there's all these slay the princess, slay the princess, slay the princess. There's one warn her in all of this.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
There's also more slay the princess, slay the princess, slay the princess, and resist.
The blade! Move the blade! As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
And look at this, with the claws and everything. We're definitely not human either.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2. The Damsel?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Wait a minute, we've been here before. But I die? What am I doing here? You're infinite. I'm wise to your tricks. Yeah, especially with the whole puppeteering our body. Yeah, wait, hasn't this already happened?
It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Wait, the smitten? Who's that?
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
What? This is kind of hilarious, but... So we're gonna have a third person in on the conversation between the protagonist and the narrator.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. You were the one who did us in, villain. Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess is worth that price. I beg to differ. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestations. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly scheme. Convoluted. I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone.
Yeah, let's talk about this princess. He still hasn't told me who or what she is, really. Because she was able to subsist without any food, was able to endure tearing through her own arm with her teeth, though it begs the question of why she just didn't do that earlier. Especially because the character had unlocked the door before. I don't know. Let's talk about the princess.
Just be quick about it.
Yeah, the only reason why she even killed me last time was because I let her. She could barely hold a knife. How is she supposed to end the world? Or who locked her in the basement? What is this place? I mean, I already know that she's superhuman.
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel nice. Oh, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends. But I'm a professional, and I'm not going to let my dislike for you get in the way of helping you save the world.
Yeah, you're being cagey. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
Yep, there's this question about how she's supposed to end the world.
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Oh gosh, Smitten, don't say things like that.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is.
Well, that's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
I'm with them. I'm going to find a way to save her from that cabin. By them, he probably means the Smitten. I'll just proceed to the cabin. I suppose I could have tried to leave.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
For goodness sake, Smitten. She didn't know who she was. She was locked in there for some unknown reason. Bit through her own arm, though I don't know why she didn't bite through her arm to free herself from the manacles prior. Also
I think
suspect.
we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Proceed to the cabin, then.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
The very same blade, though that also looks like a mirror. Wait a minute, this can't be the interior of the cabin. Look at these stone arches and everything.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Yeah, you didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall. This whole cabin is different from last time.
Very different.
Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Smitten, you weren't even around here last time.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Oh, that would be weird. If every time you die, you accumulate voices of different personalities? Oh boy.
So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted.
I'll mention the mirror.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
I'm sure the princess would tell us there was a mirror if she were up here.
In which case she'd be lying to you because, again, there isn't a mirror.
Why would you lie about that? What's the point? I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. That just sounds like Smitten talking. Yeah, why would you lie about that?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done?
Well, I want to see what we are. We definitely have claws. They seem to be scaled in some manner. Oh, the feathers from before. Are we some kind of feathered beast? I'm going to approach the mirror first.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
There's a mirror.
This really isn't funny.
Wipe it clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Ah, but look at this hand. We definitely do have talons.
But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
A feather, see? They are acknowledging that we're some kind of feathered monster. Well, take the blade or enter the basement without it. I mean, entering the basement without the blade worked well last time. Do I do so again? Only she'll be wary of me because I did attempt to kill her last time, but because of the narrator. I'll enter the basement. What'll be down here?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
Stop it, Smitten. Just stop that.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Thank you, hero.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
Is it just me, or is... She almost looks like a chibi in this one.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh gosh, I'm just face-palming right now because of Smitten. I really smitten?
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
I was so worried about you. You remember me, right?
Oh, I thought that this was going to be a situation where we had to approach every single time and just choose the knife, or whether or not we brought the knife down and go through the same conversations but try different patterns. But if she remembers us too, that makes things interesting. Yeah, the art style did change a little bit. The damsel. To be continued. I wonder what would have happened if I had tried to slay her. Maybe I'll go back to that save. Let's load this, because this was the harrowing decision, whether or not we were going to slay her.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Well, let's try slaying the princess this time. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like this particular ending, but that last one was just, it was so eerie. Because sure, she's the damsel, but it didn't seem right, especially with her tearing through her arm.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally, the wound drives her to the ground.
Ooh.
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
Well then, her voice changed.
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? Do you see that razor sharpness in her gaze? I don't think she's bluffing. I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you.
Oh, I think there is. She's already half torn through her arm.
I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm.
Hey, look at those claws.
Your knife cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
That's the only choice. Slay the princess.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
Ooh, so there's give up. Finish the job. Run for the stairs and lock her in the basement. Maybe she'll bleed out. I don't think that she'll bleed out. She definitely seems superhuman. Giving up, she's just going to tear into you. Finish the job.
You steel your resolve and take another step closer to the princess. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can still make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? What's this about not making it out of here alive? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone in this room is still standing right now. Don't act so surprised. Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here, blood loss is certain to finish the job. You take another step forward, and the princess lunges towards you. The two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons, and then you stop. Neither you nor princess able to go any further. princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both, and you watch each other fade away.
Oh.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
There it is again. That razor-sharp look in her eyes and that terrifying conviction in her words. But you don't have the time left to worry about such things. Everything goes black, and you die.
Oh, chapter 2, The Witch. So, what occurs in the first chapter does affect the second.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ooh. So there's the deja vu and everything. Yeah, but I already slew the princess, sure. She also killed me, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
Voice of the opportunist. So, smitten was if you just went along with absolutely everything she said. Opportunist is if you stab her in the back while in the midst of helping her. Yeah, we've already asked
Those
this.
are two
but...
very different questions, but you died like we were just weighing our options in a morally ambiguous situation. You can't blame us for weighing our options.
We did our best with the information we were given, and we did kill her. And yet you still died, didn't you? So congratulations, you've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds...
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We killed the
This
princess,
is the same as
the
before.
princess killed us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question, had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left?
So it's slightly different because, yes, in the first playthrough, we didn't slay the princess, she slayed us. In that last rewind that I did to go back to that save spot, we did succeed in slaying her, but she also slayed us. I wonder if there would have been a way to successfully slay her without us. No, I almost have a feeling that first chapter you're going to die no matter what. Probably if you went down to the basement with the knife, she would have been hostile from the start. That'd be interesting to try out. One thing I love about these games is they definitely take every single option into account. Now, in the first game, she was saying, I'm sorry and everything. And she did remember us, but in this, I suppose she'll remember that we betrayed her.
That's a very good point. This princess character seems like a lot of trouble. And if you think about it, actually slaying her probably breaks us out of this cycle, right? We don't want to be stuck here forever, do we? You're laying it on a little thick, aren't you? Laying it on a little thick? What are you talking about? I'm sharing my honest opinions. What matters is that almost everyone seems to be on the same page. So whenever you're ready, you can stop dawdling, get to the cabin, and save the world.
Yeah, The thing is, the narrator took control of our character. There was no means for us to have the knife in our hand and prevent ourselves from threatening her.
Just be quick about it.
So there's the she killed me last time around. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again? She killed me by ripping me to pieces. Don't get me wrong, I hated it, but how can someone just like that just end the world? Yeah, why was she able to rip me apart with her bare hands?
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine.
No, I'm going in here woefully unprepared.
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
And then these are the two questions again. I think I'll just go on.
Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Well, I suppose I could have heard some more quips from the opportunist, but we'll see. What if I do turn around and leave? No, I should probably proceed to the cabin. Maybe I'll do the turn around and leave option another time.
Before you go any further, she will lie. Don't worry, I think we've taken that lesson to heart at this point. You can trust us to get the job done.
Proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Well then, so probably indicative of what occurred last time. This is the state of the room. And there's still the mirror, though.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. So focus up.
Okay, so same response as before. It'll probably be the same there. I'll approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
Wipe the mirror clean?
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Oh, this all looks like pencil now on closer inspection. It's neat. So we can enter the basement, or we'll take the blade. I mean, we know she's dangerous. Because we entered without the blade last time, and she was fine up until the blade was in our hands. And we used it against her. Because we were able to cut her away from her bonds the first time. And then the narrator took over. So once again, going down there without it might be the best option, but now that she might be hostile to us, I don't know.
No
Let's
blade.
enter the basement.
Leaving it behind didn't work out so well for us last time. It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time and we still died, but we definitely know what we're doing this time. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs.
Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
I'm not nasty. Hello? Say nothing.
Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
See? She knows us. Is this enough for you to believe what we've been saying? Maybe, but you shouldn't let that cloud your judgment. She's just a princess. As long as you remember that and remain focused, slaying her will be easy. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is.
No reasoning with what she is. I mean, they did say the witch. But she seemed to say that she thought that she had a friend in us. And then there was that first time where we did succeed in freeing her. I wonder if we can talk about the loop and about how the narrator hasn't been able to successfully divulge the information that we need. We don't know what she is.
Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below.
Well, she's still chained up, but she has a fire.
A fire crackles in the center of the room, casting unsettling shadows across the dirt walls. The princess crouches on the other side.
Wait a minute, but she definitely has... I don't know if she has like feline like feet and a tail.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
The witch. And she has a bunch of branches in her hair. To be continued. Well then, that was really charming. It was interesting seeing all the different options and the courses that you could take, and how you conducted yourself in that first chapter determines what you do in other chapters. How she'll potentially approach you in the future. And yeah, looking at these here, are these different forms that she can take? Yeah, there's definitely the feline one. There's, yeah, perhaps the witches, and this one almost looks clown-like. It's interesting. I wonder if there's a way for you to navigate the game in such a way where you find out, yes, who is the narrator? What organization put her down in that room? What is she, in fact? Is she really capable of destroying the world? Why the time loop is existing? And is the whole point of the time loop that you have to find a time in which you kill her but you yourself don't die? Or is it a situation where you have to find a way for both of you to live so that you can't be controlled by the narrator, but the narrator can control you no matter where you are? And then there's also the extra voices, because if you saved her or spared her, yeah, you had the smitten who treated her like the damsel. And then if you did succeed in slaying her, but in that version you died yourself, she's the witch. And you had the opportunist as your extra voice. I wonder if every chapter is another go at the loop, and between one loop and the other, her perception of you might change depending on what you did in the previous ones. And then, yeah, do you accrue other hero voices or other narrator voices that pertain to your previous playthrough? Now that's really interesting. I definitely feel like I can play this demo several times over and try out different routes. Oh, actually, yeah, there's 10 routes and 1 ending to find in the demo, and many more ways to die. Oh, there's 10 routes and 1 ending to find in the demo. Many more ways to die. Well, yep, that's true. There are probably numerous other opportunities too. Probably depending on when you attacked her or whether or not you turned your back on her. Or I don't even know what would have happened if we tried going back up the stairs earlier, or if we had taken down the dagger at the onset. But yeah, really interesting. And I did enjoy Scarlet Hollow, at least the first chapter, and looks like there's several more now. I can't wait to see that finished. Black Tabby Games doing a great job. I absolutely love the art, love the direction they're going with this. And if you enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, please leave us a like, helps more than you know, and definitely looking forward to this one. In any case, thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time.